Rebecca and David. Thank you for coming.
Well, thanks very much for having me here tonight at VAUXHALL CLP. It's an absolute pleasure, and I'm from Salford, as you can probably tell from my accent. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit of a story. When we had the general election last year, we launched my general election campaign in Salford on May Day, because on May Day, the whole Labour movement across Salford, the Labour Party, and anyone that's interested in the Labour movement generally, marches to a place called Bexley Square. Now, Bexley Square is quite symbolic for us, because many, many years ago, a battle took place there, known as the Battle of Bexley Square. Now, this wasn't a war, this was a group of people marching to the town hall in Salford to protest against the means testing of unemployment benefits and the withdrawal of the winter coal allowance, as it was known then. And they were met with fierce violence, police on horses, people were hit with batons, and it became known forevermore as the Battle of Bexley Square. So our Trades Council in Salford got one of those red plaques put up outside the town hall, which is flat now, by the way, it's not our town hall anymore. And we marched there and we remember what happened. And I was just standing there and I was getting ready to do my kind of rallying the troops speech before the general election. And I looked at the plaque and I got really depressed. And I started thinking about those people, those men and women who were fighting in that square all those years ago. Like all of you in this room, they were fighting for a better future. Many of them put their livelihoods at risk, their lives at risk. And then there were those who came after them, those brothers and sisters in the Labour Party and across the Labour movement who fought tooth and nail for a better world, only to be met with where we are today under this government, where we've got people walking for miles and miles to zero-hour contracts jobs, only to be told that there's no work for them today. In the same way they did at Salford Docks in the 1800s. We've got people undergoing horrific and inhumane work capability assessments, being treated and degraded, those people who need our support. We've got people in work who don't have enough to live on. And I know there's many MPs in the room here tonight, and they'll share the same experiences that I have in Salford, where I have two parent families coming to my office, both are in full-time work, and they're asking me where the nearest food bank is. Now, sitting alongside that, we've been in a period of economic decline under this government. Productivity has stagnated. In fact, it's not been this bad since just after the Napoleonic Wars, and that's unprecedented. We have real wages not expected to return to pre-crash levels till at least 2022. And we have many of our households relying on debt and credit, becoming locked in a spiral of debt that they're never going to escape from. So with that as a backdrop, I got quite depressed, and I thought to myself, what would all of those people in our movement think about where we are now? Would they think that their sacrifices were worth it? And I kind of pulled myself together, got up, did my "the world is going to be better" speech, and everybody cheered, and then I kind of went about my business. And then throughout the campaign, you know, I was a little bit despondent at the start, because you have to remember that at the beginning a lot of the media pundits were saying that, you know, the Labour Party was going to be annihilated, we were going to lose seats that we'd never lost before. And I thought to myself, well, maybe that's right. Maybe people, you know, don't believe what we believe in the Labour Party. Maybe we've not spread our message far and wide. And then I felt something change. I felt a movement building. And when our manifesto was published, and I was sent all over the country to many of the marginal constituencies, instead of, you know, being met with, you know, people on the doorstep having a go at me because somebody else was having a row with somebody else in the Labour Party, they started talking about what the Labour Party stood for and what our policies were, and they liked them. They liked that we were going to bring our water companies back into public ownership. They liked that we were banning zero-hour contracts. They liked that we wanted to make sure that our public services received the funding that they deserved. They liked that we were going to reverse a decade of decline nearly in our local authorities. Many of our councillors know how horrific it is to be in local authorities at this time. And we said that we'd rebuild our communities for the many, not the few. And when we got to the end of that general election, I had my hope restored to some extent. And we didn't win that general election, and that saddens me. But I honestly believe, had we been given a few more weeks to get our message out there, we would have won that general election, and Jeremy Corbyn would have been our Prime Minister. But I also wasn't despondent about not winning the election, because what we also saw in that period of time was the biggest shift in the polls in British electoral history. And that happened not because we had supportive friends in the media, and we did have a few, but because our members, our trade unionists, those supportive of us in the community, went out there and fought tooth and nail to make sure that our message got out there to every single community, to convince people that we were offering hope, a future, rebuilding our fractured economy, making sure that our businesses could prosper and that they could create the well-paid jobs of the future. And when they were created, that prosperity would filter out to all communities. So tonight, while you're celebrating, and I hope you have a fantastic night tonight, I want to say a heartfelt thank you. Because I know, like those people in Bexley Square, you can go home tonight and you look at yourself in the mirror and you can say to yourself, do you know what? When push came to shove, when I had to stand up and be counted and fight for what I believed in, I did that. And I'm going to do it again when the next general election comes, whether that's this year, next year, or in 2020. And we won't stop until we have a Labour government and we provide our communities with the hope and prosperity they deserve. Thanks very much, everybody.